Hi, welcome back. In the previous video we created our first toolkit. Now let's see how we can create a window for that toolkit. And what I'm talking about is something like this. A window where we can configure some things for what we are actually doing. To remember what we were doing, we can run our farm toolkit again. It created a group over here called farms, and in that group it created some child items for us. Okay, now to create the toolkits, normally when I look at the references that are included, you have to write a lot of boilerplate code exactly like this to create some sizers and to add some border directions, a lot of settings to make it look good. Now, all of that stuff is basically copy-pasted in every script I'm seeing, and I don't really like copy-pasting stuff. So I kind of created my own library of components I can use that actually does exactly the same stuff, but it only does it once. And I can create other components like this that will eventually create the same thing when they get executed, but I don't have to write the copy-paste code every time again. To also use those packages I created on your own, you can go to the link, it's probably in the description. And over here you can see the code. It's actually this code. It should be public, you don't need an account to see the code or to download the code. And to get it installed, you have the option over here to download the zip file. When you open that zip folder up, you have these files. Need to move to your app editor app directory. So the app directory, over here we have scripts. It's also where we created our farm toolkit in the previous video. You can drag those scripts in here. Once they are in here, we can restart the editor and our scripts should show up. So we're going to do that. Now that the editor is started, over here in scripts we should see some new options for toolkits, and when we go look at the example toolkit has a lot of options that you can try out. Click on things or activate things and see how the settings from up here actually get consumed. We also have stuff like this where we can select prefabs and it will print the path to our prefabs. Okay, with this let's create our own toolkit, because we have our farm toolkit from earlier. I have the example open here. Under toolkits example we have the simple example. Let's start from this. Let's copy paste what we have in here and let's add it to our script. Now let's group this into a new function called create farms. And only run those create farms when our button is pressed. Okay, let's save this, go back to our editor. There's a reload scripts button over here, or re-init environment. I think it helps. So we clicked it, and now when we run our farm toolkit, it opens up a window with a button to do something, and when we press it, the same functionality we had in our previous video, we still have. We can press it multiple times, and it will add the new stuff. Because over here, we added a function to only run our logic when the button is pressed. Okay, now we can add something else to our window. Actually, over here, we'll have a look at this. We have a panel, that's the window we're seeing over here. We can add some multiple stuff to it. Right now there's only a button. When we want to see which other components there are, we can go to the library and go over to the window builder. I have it open over here. And in the window builder we can see, we should find the button actually. It should be over here. And when you want to create a button, you have to give it a name and you can give it a callback, which is a function that will be called when you press the button. We have other stuff like a label. Let's add a label to this. We can say window builder.label. And let's print something for our users. After our object ends, comma, because we're working in an array. Let's save this, go back to our editor. We reload our scripts. We run our script again. And now we have added our new label. Now let's give the user some input options. We can say window builder.text area. Let's give the user a place to enter some text. We'll pre-fill the text. This text as farms. Then we can enter a callback that is called when something is changed in this field. For now, let's just print what is updated. So the callback function will get its value from what is changed, and let's just print that to the console. We have read-only, multi-line. It's not read-only, it's not multi-line. That's about it. Most of that stuff has defaults anyway. We should make sure we end the line with a comma. Now when we save this, we reload our scripts. Let's run this. Now we have a field where we can enter stuff, and when we enter something, we see the new value printed over here. Let's do something with the value we added. Over here we have our group name. Let's pull it out of our function to the top, and let's create some stuff to store this. Maybe not, maybe we can just do this, make it global. Let's keep it easy for now. Let's say the new value for our group name is the value we just entered, and over here we still use the same public variable called group name. That's enough change for now. Let's save that, rerun our script. Because I think if we load it up now, we can edit this, just do something, and I was going to say nothing happens, but our transform group is created with our new name and our child objects. So we actually have some user input that we are using in our function. Okay, let's clean this code up a little bit. Let's call it a farm toolkit. And our farm toolkit has a group name. Now, everywhere where we use the group name, we need to specify that it is now our farm toolkit group name. Okay, that's that. We also have a function. Let's clean it up by adding farm toolkit in front of it. We'll also do that in the beginning of our file. Now we're creating a farm toolkit. Our farm toolkit has a variable called farms. We also have another variable. Maybe let's extract that as well. Let's call it child name. And over here we'll add the farm toolkit child name. Add that to the string. Okay. That is used over there. We can save this, and maybe we should try to see if everything still works. Reload our scripts. Indeed, it has something. Now it's crashing when we click the button on line 41. So let's go back to our scripts and look at line 41. Line 41 is calling the function create farms, but we renamed it because now it's part of our farm toolkit. We can save this, we can reload our script. And now our tool works again. We entered another name, so it's normal that it creates another group, it creates the children, and when you press it multiple times, it adds the other children to the same transform. So that still works, but now we have a setting for our other name, so we can also expose a way for the user to update it. Let's do that over here. And maybe over here the default value of those fields should be what we pre-configured over here, so we don't need to repeat ourselves. Maybe let's remove the label for now, or no. We're going to leave it. We need to make it more clear what those group names are about. So first let's make sure our code still works. Actually, we have to test something. If we make it like this, we can press create and it creates our group with our new farms. Now we can also rename our farm structure. Press enter again and it will create new farms with a new updated name in the same list. So now our tool is reusable. We can also create a normal group. Now we have farms over here, but when we go back to our previous farm newest, so we can swap around a lot of stuff. This is looking great. Let's add another component. Let's add a row this time, and for a row we're just going to give it a list of components, and of course end our component with a comma. Now I'm going to take the label and the text area and put it in a row, and I'm going to create another row this next area, text area, and I'll also give it a label. This one is the group name, and this one is the child name. Okay, don't forget the commas. Let's save this. Let's call this the farm toolkit. Farms. Text while we're here and have another test run. Now we have our group name for the farms and our child name for farm. We can say this is a group and this is a child. Create our farm structure and it creates it for us with 5 children. This is perfect. Okay, let's add another option. Builder and use something else from the options we have. Come on. We have an int input. Let's try it out. So it's expecting a default value. Let's create a tree at first. A change callback. So when the value is changed, it's going to trigger something. For now, it's not going to trigger anything. The minimum value of things you can enter and the maximum value, let's put that to 10. End our line with a comma. Maybe let's create a setting for our amount. Let's say it's 3 to start with. Over here we already typed 3, so let's replace that with our setting. We'll use the amount as the default value over here. When we save our scripts, This will not do very much. So here we have a callback with a value, and we're going to say our farm toolkit dot amount value is now what the value was that got passed in. Let's save this. Now we still have to do something with it because we're configuring it, but now we have to find some place to actually read it, and that's going to be over here where we create the amount that we entered. Let's think about this. When we enter 1, it will start at 0. Does it also create 1? Not sure. I think we're going to try it this way. Let's actually see what happens. We'll remove some of this stuff. We'll open up our tool. Now we can enter how much farms we want with a nice cap on 1 and 10. Let's say we want 2 farms. Let's create it. And now we have 2 farms. Let's add 4 farms. And now it added 4 farms. Farms group 2. And let's add 8 farms over here. And now we have a second group with 8 farms over here. So now we've created our own interface to configure what we want to run with our toolkit. You can use these scripts. You can always go back to see what it was in the past, like for example what they are when I record these videos, because they will probably change in the future. So hopefully they change for the better, but we'll see. Have fun with it.